The Brothers Grail acknowledges the Bindal and Wulgarukuba people of North Queensland and the Wurundjeri people of Melbourne, the traditional owners of the land we record on today. We pay our respects to elders past, present and future. We also recognise that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders have been custodians of the land, rivers and seas for at least 65,000 years and were the first storytellers.
Yeah, hey, here we are again, Brothers Grail. My name is Quindog. I am your Bible reader, and I'll be reading the Bible to my Nimrod brothers, the Captain and Kebevan. Hello, Captain. How are you today?
I'm good, mate.
Loving life. It's a beautiful Sunday. We're actually doing a biblical recording on a Sunday today. Does that make you feel?
And it's technically morning, which we were planning to go a bit earlier, but is it still the earliest we've done it?
Yes, I do think it is, unless the great Kebevan, hello Kebevan, unless you disagree with that.
I reckon we're pretty close to, because I don't know if you remember, but the very first one in Melbourne was a midday recording as well. So it could be close.
Yeah, very possible.
Was it a Sunday? I don't think it was a Sunday, though. It was a midweek.
No, who fucking knows?
Very riveting, so I don't think that matters to anybody who's listening. So we'll move on, unless there's anything exciting in everyone's life that you want to tell me about. No, let me interrupt. I've got something exciting in my life. Motherfucking useful charts. They have a role.
Yeah, boy.
And you haven't seen them yet, Captain, but maybe at some point Kebevan can aim his phone at them and show you. You might be able to see them in the background of my video. They're laying on the bed with trying to be flattened out by some books. And so one of the charts is the beautiful genealogy. It starts at Adam and Eve and then goes to Cain and Seth and all that sort of stuff and down. So we now have a reference that from time to time we can jump in and have a little look so that we lie less regularly.
Nice.
Less regularly. And never deliberately, but less regularly. So with that, I reckon we proceed, but we might quickly recap on the last episode in which we covered chapters 33, 34, and 35. Now, if you remember, Jacob was sort of at the start of it, Jacob.
Israel.
Well, it still jumped back and forth, but okay, Israel. All right, Israel. Israel was still heading back because he had only just wrestled prior to the start of the last thing. So yeah, you're right. He was Israel. So Israel was heading back to Canaan still, and he bumped into his big brother Esau and was fucking terrified, if you remember. So he split up and he gave the kids to each of the mum, and then he sent the maidservant mums first. Then he sent Leah, then he sent Rachel. So it was all in order of who he loved best or liked best. And we sort of thought that he was sending them to the wolves, but he ended up going first. So we had to eat our words on that one. But instead, when they bumped into each other, we thought Esau was going to fuck him up. But Esau just gave him a big cuddle, kissed him on the neck, and they wept. Then for a little while, they sort of bragged to each other about how much stuff that they both had until they sort of just parted and went their own ways. Then Jacob moved to some place and he bought some land and he built a house. But then when I reread, it just then straight away went to him moving again. And so he moved to that place called Shechem, if you remember, and he pitched a tent near Shechem. That's where Dinah got violated. And when Jacob heard about it, he went to work and he smoothed over relations with Shechem by making the violator and all of the men of Shechem cut their dick skin off. Remember? That was how they decided.
Smooth diplomatic work.
Yes.
Could not forget that.
Some modern diplomacy in that fashion would probably solve some world problems. So that was their treaty. But when Jacob/Israel thought that was all done and dusted, remember Levi and Simeon, they were like, nah, we're going to take advantage. And I realized later that we missed a really good opportunity for purple-headed soldier jokes or purple-headed warrior jokes at that point. So, you can't get them all. You can't catch them all. So they went and took out that army of purple-headed soldiers while they were recovering. Explored the whole town, stole all their shit, took a heap of women and kids as slaves. That was that little part. Then they just ran away and God somehow protected them. If you remember, they ran away and no one came out for
Ben.
everyone was scared of the God wrath if they come against.
Well, they
him.
killed all the men.
Well,
That wasn't God.
But there's other towns around,
Oh,
nearby,
okay.
you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that's what they implied. No other towns
Okay.
came. That's, I think, what they implied there.
Yep.
Then God really quickly jumped back into the story and he reaffirmed at that point that Jacob's name was now Israel. Because you remember
That's
that?
right,
So
yeah.
it was still
Yeah.
Jacob, and then it was Israel again. Then toward the end of where we got to, Rachel ended up having one last kid. She named it Benjamin and she died.
She died.
So that was the end of Rachel. Then Reuben got to know stepmom Bilhah. They just dropped that in there, if you remember. Reuben's like,
I forgot about that.
he just fucking, I don't know, mandraked up or whatever happened, and he got to know Bilhah, and then that was sort of the end of that. It was sort of a weird, which I looked up before. If you refer to your chart, Kebevan, Bilhah's, it was like Gad and Asher or some shit. Anyway, and then Israel went back to Isaac, and Isaac died.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I
Because
just
we just
point
kept
out?
thinking Isaac was already dead, but then he just popped up again
He popped
a
up
few random times.
just in time to die. Yeah.
You know how they used
Um,
to hang people or whatever to show how gruesome they were, so armies wouldn't go against them. Like, we're fearsome. You don't want to. How scary would it be if you found a heap of dead guys with their dicks cut off? I'm not fucking with that army.
Yeah. You're spinning and just heading back the other way.
Yeah.
No.
Did they take the women and children, or the women and girls? Because we assume they killed the small boys as well.
They definitely took the women and children. I don't know about the boys. I don't know. I guess who cares if you just take some boys? You can put them in the.
Well, the boys are dead, I thought.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
They didn't say one way or another, I feel.
Yeah.
So let's assume that all the boys are dead too. So that was the last one. So really, really quickly, we're going to try to get through chapter 36, 37, and 38 today. And just as a real quick, I don't know, preview, whatever, dot point preview, that one of these chapters is the worst genealogy chapter yet.
Oh no.
Thank you. I have a method that I will try to run through it quickly.
Could you just spend some time going over the charts?
You'd rather us just do a review of the charts.
Yeah. Just if you not this time, you've done some good prep this time, but maybe next time just like a lecture on the genealogy rather than the Bible's version.
I'm okay with that because I'm showing everyone my charts. Everyone who's willing to listen, I'll be showing them the charts. So yeah, the worst genealogy chapter yet. Then there becomes some interesting stuff starts happening. There's some brothers rift going on and some trickery that goes on. God gets angry in a sort of a strange, just like bang, bang, bang way. And there's a woman's scam that's good? Question mark.
Okay.
So that's what we've got to look forward to. I don't know. Do you care for any guesses or are you happy for me?
I was thinking, just as you went through that little run through, that at the moment, the only consequences for what Levi and Simeon did was a stern talking to.
Yeah. And it was more so about
maybe
wrecking the-
that's where there might be a bit of rifting, is like they probably should face more consequences than.
Because killing an entire town full of people who've just cut their dick tips off is bad. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, especially if we're going with the theory that they killed like any male, including like babies and shit.
All right. So you're saying they get a little talking to. All right.
Well, no, beyond like a little, probably still not very much, but a little bit more of a consequence than a stern talking.
Like
to.
you
It's my
did bad, but not that bad.
Town now. Can't complain too much.
Yeah. No, they ran away from that town. They just escaped that town, I think.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is because Israel just said to him, "What have you done? Now people will hate us. This was not a good thing to do." I think more has to come from doing the slaughter than just that little bit of talking.
Yeah, he didn't really go and point out, you've just murdered a whole heap of innocent people whom we just made friends with, and dads and brothers and uncles, and you've stolen them. He's like, what did you say? He said to him, like that. You made them angry with us. And we're not friends
Made
with them
the
anymore.
other towns angry. That's all he was concerned about.
Yes. Jacob Israel, he's also a bit of a shithead. Hey,
Yeah.
Anyway,
They did it in a cowardly way too, as we've pointed out, with them all
yeah.
recovering from their dick wounds.
So we're gonna jump into the worst genealogy chapter yet. Chapter
Oh, it's
36.
the first one.
It is, but we're gonna get through it very, very quickly. So what I've done is I've actually pre-recorded myself reading it. I probably will not force our wonderful meat sacrifice listeners to listen to the entire thing, but I'm gonna make you boys listen to the whole thing. But I'm gonna play it back at fast pace.
Double speed.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So I think it took me 5 minutes to record. Oh, sorry, it takes me 5 minutes to read, but we get through it in 3 minutes. So without any further ado, Brothers Grail, Kebevin and the Captain, this is chapter 36. Feel free to interrupt if you need to.
Now this is the genealogy of Esau, who is Edom. Esau took his wives from the daughters of Canaan.
Playing
Ada,
it like
the daughter
triple
of
speed.
Elon the Hittite, Aholibama, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite, and Basemath, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebajoth, born to him in the land of Canaan. Then Esau took his wives, his sons, his daughters, and all the persons of his household, his cattle and his animals, and all his goods, which he had gained in the land of Canaan, and went to a country away from the presence of his brother Jacob. For their possessions were too great for them to dwell together in the land where they were strangers, could not. These were the sons of Ada, Esau's wife. These were the sons of Ruel, Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These were the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. These were the sons of Aholibama, Esau's wife, the daughter of the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. And these were the sons of Aholibama, Esau's wife, Chief Juesh, Chief Jalam, Chief Korah. These were the chiefs who descended from Aholibama, Esau's wife and daughter of Anna. These were the sons of Dishon, Ezer, and Dishan. These were the
Halfway
chiefs of the
through right
Horites,
now.
the sons of Seir, in the line of Edom. And the sons of Lotan were Hori, Hemem. Lotan's sister was Timnah. These were the sons of Shobal, Elvin, Manahath, Ebel, Shepho,
Does this
and Onam.
take us to the
These were
current
the sons
day?
of Zibi, both Ajah and Anna. This was Anna who found the water in the wilderness. These were the chiefs of the Horites, according to their chiefs in the land of
The
Seir.
Horites.
Now these are the kings who reigned in the land of Eden before any king similar of Maskrah reigned in his place. And when Simeah died, Saul of Rehoboth
The
by the
poor
river
chart
reigned in his
cunts
place.
that
When
had
Saul
to
died,
really
Baal-Hanan,
study
the
this
son of
whole
Achbor,
chapter.
reigned in his place. And when Baal-Hanan, Chief Kenzaz, Chief Teman, Chief Mizpah, Chief Migdiel, and Chief Imram, these were the chiefs of Edom, according to their dwelling places in the land of their possession. Esau was the father of the Edomites. End scene.
Oh, mate.
So two things I
What?
take. I want to. Can you do a count of how many people were in that later?
Yeah, I'm happy to. But part of the reason that it really spun me out is there's not as many people as it sounded like. They just keep saying the same people over and over and over.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought I noticed a few names repeat, and I just thought they were just uncles and stuff with different names.
No,
Or same.
I think it listed them as just children. Then it listed them as chiefs for some reason. Then it listed them again as
So it
chiefs.
did their whole generation's life in one chapter.
it's
It's like
just-
this is his whole existence.
I think I'd have to read it again to really understand.
Would you
But
want to?
no,
Fucking hell.
well, oh fuck! I read it 4 times this morning, and I nearly fucking just
Was
no.
there that? I could be wrong because obviously it was playing pretty fast and it was boring. But did I hear it say something about Esau and then therefore, well, Esau was known as like he got a name change halfway through?
He didn't get a name change. It says this is the genealogy of Esau, who is Edom, whatever that means. So that's,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I thought that was a bit weird. And then also, we're big Esau fans.
yes,
And then that was the genealogy of Esau.
Yep.
So Esau gets the worst chapter ever.
yeah, poor Esau.
Like, yeah. And do we now go into a time jump, or was that just like a boring, unnecessary side tangent?
Well, I think it just sort of closes out Esau because now we move on to Jacob and his family. I think.
So Esau's just full gone now. The conflict's been resolved with a bit of cuddles and weeping. They agreed that they've both own a lot of stuff, and now he's done.
I don't know. He might come back in, but he's certainly not a main person at all. It's all about Jacob and or Israel and his kids now. So that was.
Sorry, I want to make that a prediction.
Yep.
Is that they at least once still refer to him as Jacob?
Oh yeah,
in-
yeah. I can promise it. It's so fucking. Yeah, they're not consistent in that regard at all. So I'm not.
They
sure.
were with everyone else though. Like they never accidentally called Abraham Abram again,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't remember.
or Sarah Sarai again.
But they
that
ne-
never
but-
happened.
But I guess they didn't get wrestled for a name change and then needed a confirmation of the name change either. So he got his name change in the best possible way, and it just didn't stick. I guess I don't know. So I'm not sure. I'm going to have to edit that together somehow and make that make a little bit of sense. I did appreciate that little bit of laughter over the top when you was like, is this still going? What the fuck is going on?
When you gave us the halfway point note, couldn't believe it. You should probably load that whole unedited thing up on Facebook, I think.
It's too long. I don't know if I can. Maybe I can. Yeah, I'll try. And if anyone gets through it,
Part 1, Part 2, Part 3.
yeah.
It's a trilogy, mate.
If anyone gets through it, I offer them a prize of some description.
This leads towards my theory too of they're rich. Like for them to have chiefs and all this sort of stuff, I feel like they're not poor
No
in
way.
this life. They've got a bit of land. They've got
Yeah, well, and that's why Jacob and Esau parted again, because they
got
were so
too much.
rich, too much stuff. We can't be in the same area. So anyway, that may never ever happen again. The quick double speed re-record thing, and obviously the technology wasn't real great there, so we'll have to sort that out later.
It says here in Hebrew, Edom is a place that is land south and southeast of Palestine. So maybe that's just where he was.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, okay. So that's Esau's world. Wonder if there's many red hairy people down there.
Yeah.
So if you're happy, which I think you are, let's move on to chapter 37. Now Jacob dwelt in the land where his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. This is the story of Jacob. Joseph, which was one of the kids, Joseph being 17 years old, so they don't do that very often, they've just told us exactly how old he is, was feeding the flock with his brothers, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives, and Joseph brought bad news of them to his father. So he's just going to go and dob on him for some reason, right? Now, Israel loved Joseph more than all his children because he was the son of his old age. Also, he made him a tunic of many colors.
Did they start this chapter by calling him Jacob and then halfway through start calling him Israel?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
I didn't even.
That's cool.
No,
It happened immediately.
Luke reckons, the captain reckons at least one time, first word.
no mucking. Nah, straight into it. So Joseph's his favorite. It says when he's in his old age, but I think Benjamin is the young, like he was oldest when Benjamin came about. So I'm not sure. I can't remember where Joseph lands in the line, but he must be towards the youngest. So Dad made him a tunic of many colors. But when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peaceably to him. Now Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brothers, and they hated him even more. So he said to them, I was going to try to do a posh kid's voice. I don't know if I can.
Oh, Daddy.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Please hear this dream which I have dreamed. So he's talking to his brothers here. There we were, binding sheaves in the field. Then behold, my sheaf arose. My sheaf arose and also stood upright. And indeed your sheaves stood all around and bowed down to my sheaf. Right? Do you understand what's going on there? So, to be clear,
What's a sheaf?
a sheaf is like a bundle of like hay or wheat, like it's a round bundle sort of wrapped up. That's called a sheaf. I looked that up. I'm not.
Yeah, I was thinking you might have been saying sheep.
No,
Like
no.
I'd convinced myself that it had to have been sheep, but
No.
this makes less sense than
Yes.
a sheep. I think.
So that would have been a bit weird if his sheep arouse, but no, his sheaf arose. So the dream is obviously saying he was his sheaf, and then all of his brothers' sheafs bowed to him, as in he's the main dude, right? So that's his dream. No wonder they hated him.
Yeah.
And his brothers said to him, "Shall you indeed reign over us, or shall you indeed have dominion over us?" So they hated him even more for his dreams and for his words. Then he dreamed still another dream and told it to his brothers. Keep it to yourself, mate. And he said, what was the voice again? Look,
Daddy.
Daddy, look, I have dreamed another dream, and this time the sun, the moon,
and the 11 stars bowed down to me. So I think he's tossing in mum and dad now, bowing down. So the 11 stars are his brothers, I think, but the sun and the moon must be his mum and dad.
Sorry, quick question. Joseph is one of the sons of the hot wife?
I don't know.
The barren one, that unbarrened?
Kebevan would have to quickly look at the chart, which is a little bit too far away.
Benjamin,
from me
I think, Benjamin was the first son of the hot wife, I think.
Benjamin was the very last son, and it was to the hot wife, yes.
Yeah, so
Kebevan's looking it up.
listed in order from oldest to youngest. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Nephilath, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, and Benjamin.
Okay.
So I think he's the
Second last.
first son of the hot wife. I reckon
Might be.
Yeah, I think you're right. So, yeah.
Because all the other ones also just didn't have they had not normal names or whatever. Or Reuben was cool, but then Joseph and Benjamin were pretty normal. So I think
so he's the second youngest. And I've got to chip you, Kebevan. You're looking up the interwebs and not looking at my fucking charts. So get out.
They're buried under 5 books and a dog, man. Give me a break.
All right, noted. I've got to adjust my charts positioning somehow. So yeah, the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars bowed down to me. So he told it to his father and his brothers, and his father rebuked him and said to him, "What is this dream that you have dreamed? Shall your mother and I and your brothers indeed come to bow down to the earth before you?" And his brothers envied him, but his father kept the matter in mind. That strong man, Jacob, Israel, probably considering forcing him to cut some more skin off his dick.
I've wrestled God, little punk.
Yeah.
Don't come at me with them fucking...
Your son won't bow down to you. I wrestled with gods.
Luke nailed it, by the way. Sons of Rachel are Joseph and Benjamin.
Yeah, I actually followed Kebevan's idea and I did a Google and I googled was Joseph the son of the hot wife in the Bible? And top answer was Joseph was about 17 at the time and was the son of Jacob's wife Rachel, who was described as a beautiful woman.
It confirmed a few things there, that she was the hot wife and that Joseph was the son.
And that's the top answer, by the way. That was the very, very first thing.
So we're not having original thoughts here is what we're learning.
It actually auto-filled in the Bible for me.
Okay. And the brothers envied him, but Jacob kept the matter in mind. Then his brothers went to feed their father's flock in Shechem, which I found a bit weird. So the sons are going straight back to Shechem, which is the slaughterhouse.
Right.
Yeah.
And they've still got a flock there. So they fled, but they kept the town.
Yeah.
They own that shit still.
It's a bit scammy, like they pretended to leave, but then they just went back and took it.
Went back and claimed it all. Well, I guess there's no men there to stop them. Anyway, so yeah, Shechem comes straight back in with no further explanation as to why they get to go back to Shechem. And Israel said to Joseph, so once again, they called him Jacob a second ago. Israel said to Joseph, are not your brothers feeding the flock in Shechem? Come, I will send you to them. He said to him, Daddy, here I am. I had to say daddy again to get me back in the thing. But so the actual line is, here I am. I'd love to know how many here I ams there have been in the Bible so far. Then he said to him, please go and see if it is well with your brothers and well with the flocks, and bring back word to me. So he sent him out to the valley, out of the valley of Hebron, and he went to Shechem. Now a certain man found him, and there he was, wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, what are you seeking? I'm trying to be mystical, because this man just never gets explained. What are you seeking? So he said, Daddy, I am seeking my brothers. Please tell me where they are feeding their flocks. And the man said, they have departed from here, for I heard them say, let us go to Dothan. So Joseph went after his brothers and found them in Dothan. That man never gets mentioned again.
He's
this
an
because you're not
angel.
here.
Could have been an angel. Sorry, was that Kebabin?
You missed this, Luke, because you're not here. But Colin does like the finger thing. This whenever he says the mystical voice. And then I said this.
Going to Dothan. Yeah, I have to add a bit of character.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't stick in my brain. Now, I think they're talking about the brothers now. So it says, Now, when they saw him afar off, even before he came near to them, they conspired against him to kill him.
The mystic guy.
No, this is the brothers.
The brothers are killing Joseph.
Yeah, 'cause he's telling them all about how their shifts are bowing down to him and the stars and stuff. So they're like,
I'd kill him
this guy,
too.
yeah, this dude, this is intolerable.
It'd be a good murder.
Well, we're going to find out. Yeah, could be. Yeah. Then they said to one another, look, this dreamer is coming. Come, therefore, let us now kill him and cast him into some pit. And we shall say, some wild beast has devoured him. We shall see what will become of his dreams. But Reuben heard it, and he delivered them out of their hands and said, let us not kill him. And Reuben said to them, shed no blood, but cast him into the pit which is in the wilderness, and do not lay a hand on him, that he might deliver him out of their hands and bring him back to their father. So he's saying, don't kill him, just throw him in a hole and just leave him there, I think.
Hopefully he dies, but we won't do it.
Yeah, but we didn't do it. So it came to pass when Joseph had come to his brothers that they stripped Joseph of his tunic and the tunic of many colours that was on him. Then they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty. There was no water in it. So obviously it was maybe an old well, I don't know. And they sat down to eat a meal. So they took another bite to eat. Have a meal. Then they lifted their eyes and looked, and there was a company of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead with their camels bearing spices, balm, and myrrh on their way to carry them down to Egypt. So I think this is a group of Ishmael's descendants, maybe. So Judah said to his brothers, what profit is there if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And the brothers listened. So you follow what just happened?
They just sold their brother.
Yeah, they threw him down a pit, and then the king's scammer, who was that again? Judah. He's like, boys, we can make some money here. Yeah, what?
From a long line of scammers, he's going in early.
It's so good, so clever. And he is pretty intolerable, so like Joseph. Brothers.
I just would have thought Levi or Simeon would have been the main bad brothers in this story. Like, just add some character development, continue that on, but no.
They might just be the beef, you know what I mean? Like they might, like Judah's the brains, and they're just we're just going in and crushing skulls.
They threw him in the pit.
Yeah, they did the pit throwing, yeah.
Sorry, I just a quick thing as well. Is this Joseph? Because they keep talking about his many-colored tunic. Is he Joseph in the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat? Is that what this is? Is that what that would be based on?
Maybe. If it is, that's pretty cool. Maybe. I don't know.
Because I think I always knew that had some biblical cool going on, but I just assumed it was Jesus' fake dad.
I'm interested in Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat now, if that's what it is.
Yeah, well, we'll find out if it's a good story soon.
Well, we will. And Kebevin's tapping away on the interwebs again. I need a chart about about biblical musicals. Then the Midianite traders passed by, so the brothers pulled Joseph up and lifted him out of the pit and sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 shekels of silver, and they took Joseph to Egypt.
Is that a good price?
Even much money?
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. A block of land was 400. So
what did they get?
Pretty high price.
They got 20 shekels of silver. So I don't know. It doesn't sound like much, does it? For one of Jacob/Israel's children. It doesn't say. I suppose they didn't know. They couldn't sell him as that, I guess.
He's just some weird cunt that dreams things and then brags about what he dreams.
Yeah. And this whole time he's like, my brothers, what are you doing to me? My brothers. You put me down a pit. Oh, I'm out of the pit. Oh, thank you. Oh, hang on. Who are these men? What's going on?
I couldn't help but think that his dream about them bowing down was them looking down the pit at him.
It could have been. Yeah. They're all looking down the pit and it looks bowing. It looks submissive. But then Reuben returned to the pit, and indeed Joseph was not in the pit, and he tore his clothes. So Reuben mustn't have been part. He must be maybe Reuben, like similar to, who did we, like
Who did we say? Wouldn't it have been good if this person became the main character because they actually seemed good and some other shit prick was? Maybe if Reuben became, like if Reuben was the main man, he seems very moral.
Are we just talking about Esau?
Maybe.
Hope so.
Yeah, maybe. And indeed, Joseph was not in the pit and he tore his clothes. So he maybe had a frustration, like, no! He's like, and he's tearing the colourful tunic up. And he returned to his brothers and said, the lad is no more. I forget what I said for Reuben. The lad is no more. And where shall I go? So I think he's feeling blamed. So they took Joseph's tunic, killed a kid of the goats, and dipped the tunic in the blood. So the scam is deepening. Then they sent the tunic of many colors that they brought, and they brought it to their father and said, we have found this. Do you know whether it is your son's tunic or not? Right?
They knew.
And he recognized it and said, it is my son's tunic. A wild beast has devoured him. Without doubt, Joseph is torn to pieces. Then Jacob tore his clothes, put sackcloth on his waist, and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and all his daughters arose to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, for I shall go down into the grave to my son in mourning. Thus his father wept for him. Now the Midianites had sold him in Egypt to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh and captain of the guard. So he's gone. So that's the end of chapter 37.
Pretty wild.
There's some drama going on, isn't there?
Yeah. I was worried Israel wasn't going to weep for his son after all the previous weepings, but it came through.
You thought he was running out of his tears.
No, I don't know. I just thought he would love his son enough to give a weeping, considering the stolen kiss weep.
So yeah, like they've got to conclude this story somehow. So, but they go on for a little side tangent.
So of all the shit things brothers and sisters have done to each other, at least you didn't sell your sibling.
Yeah.
Let's put the bar up a little higher for everyone.
Yes. The Bible has given a few bad examples of what you can do to your brother.
Are they just going to rise up against the next brother that takes his place as the next one that gets bowed to or whatever?
As long as he doesn't dream, or if he keeps his dreams to himself.
Hey, just shut up. Fucking hell.
Telling everyone, Joseph? Fucking hell. Stop being such a little telltale prick.
And wearing the brightest tunic you could possibly wear just to draw even more attention to yourself.
Yeah, if he was in a sand-coloured tunic, he might have walked close enough and overheard him talking about him before he got... But he's like... I was over the horizon.
He had some servants playing welcoming music as he come over the hill. For he is here.
In his Technicolor tunic. I kept the Arabian Nights singing in the last episode too. You'll be glad to know.
Lovely. That's just what this needed.
All right, so we'll move on to chapter 38. Whoa, it's a chapter, not any chapter, it's chapter 38. It came to pass at that time that Judah departed from his brothers and visited a certain Adullamite whose name was Hira. So Judah, I'm not sure who Judah's the kid of. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite whose name was Shua, and he married her and went into her. Okay? So we follow so far?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Judah's just another one of the sons, isn't he? Just one of the early ones from the less good wife? Or one of
the
one
less
of the
good
servants?
wife. Third son.
Is Leah.
Yeah.
Of Leah. So Reuben, someone, then Judah.
Oh, sorry, fourth.
Okay.
Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah.
And they're all shit except Reuben.
Sounds that way.
Mhm.
And Judah saw there a daughter of a Canaanite, married her and went into her. So she conceived and bore a son, and he called his name Er. She conceived again and bore a son, and she called his name Onan. And she conceived yet again and bore a son, and called his name Shelah. He was at Chezib when she bore him. So we follow so far 3 kids.
Yeah, they're pumping out the sons.
Yeah.
Seems to be pretty prominent.
Then Judah took a wife for his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. But Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord killed him.
That's a direct murder from God.
Oh.
He's leveled up from just making women barren.
Because that
How old was this child when it was
happened
killed?
before.
No, yeah, how old was this kid? I don't know. It might have been
It was just wicked.
It's just wicked.
Didn't explain how. Just
Oh, no, her was old enough to take a wife. So however old that was. So
This is like grandchild shit. Like Israel's grandkid
yes.
just got killed by God.
God just was like, you're no good. We
God
just
has
gotta
never
finish
done
it."
a direct murder before. He's done the flood, but he hasn't just killed someone.
Yeah, and I wonder how he did it. Did he like with lightning or whatever? I wonder what he did. Just stopped him from breathing and he
sickness.
sickness. Yeah. Okay. So all right. So we're following so far. So 3 kids. First kid got married to Tamar. God didn't like him, killed him. Okay. And Judah, dad, said to Onan, who's the second son, "Go into your brother's wife and marry her and raise up an heir to your brother." Yeah.
Sick. I'm thinking maybe Judah did the killing because he just wanted the one son to do all the going into. And he just said it was
He wasn't a
God.
fan of and he's like, you know what? Nah,
Yeah.
replacing you with your brother.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know. It was, as far as we know, it was God. We can't just make up that it was Judah. So, all right. So we're following so far. So, married Tamar, got slaughtered by God. Dad Judah said to Onan, the second son, "Go into your brother's wife and create an heir." Okay. And the thing which he did displeased. Oh, hang on. Oh, sorry. I nearly skipped it there. Go and raise up an heir to your brother. But Onan knew that the heir would not be his. And it came to pass that when he went into his brother's wife, that he emitted on the ground, lest he would give an heir to his brother.
Still going to get some sex, but no babies for you.
Oh my God. So, wait.
And they recorded this too. It was
he's
important.
not going to be make the heir. So who's making the heir?
Well, he was supposed to. He was supposed
Yeah.
to make the heir, but he's like, no, fuck that, because then it'll still be called Er's heir for some reason. I don't know why that is.
So that's what. Yeah, because I was like, I was waiting for it to be, but she was already pregnant.
Yeah.
But no, he just came on the ground.
He just come on the ground, yeah. He did the pull-out method.
Yeah. Well established, successfully used technique. That one.
And the thing which he did displeased the Lord. Therefore, he killed him also.
Pull-out method is not approved by God.
You got to fill the vagina with the seed, otherwise, see ya.
Killing all the men in a town.
That's good. Yep.
Maybe don't do that. You'll make some people hate us.
It's just bad because
pull-out
people don't
method,
like it.
death.
Do not pull out of your brother's
Holy
sister's wife.
fuck.
Which, by the way, if he didn't want to have sex with her, that's pretty gross being forced into that.
Yes.
But he did. He had the sex.
Yeah. Yeah, but that didn't necessarily want to. But maybe he did. We don't know.
He was trying to demonstrate that she was barren and less worthy, probably, really.
Oh, yeah. Now who's the one making up?
Yeah, okay, yeah, true. I'm Queen God. I can do what I want.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's in my Bible. I could be reading his whatever. I could be making all this shit up, really. But I'm not that inventive. This is so fucking strange. So he killed him all. So there's one brother left, and it was Sheila. Okay, so we move on. Then Judah said to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, who he's now previously given to 2 of his sons. He said to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, "Remain a widow in your father's house till my son Sheila is grown." So go back to your dad's house and wait until I can give you to my other son.
Yeah.
For he said, lest he also die like his brothers. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. Now, in the process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died. So there must have been a daughter that they didn't talk about.
Yeah.
And Judah was comforted and went up to his sheep shearers at Timnah and his friend Hira, the Adullamite, right? So all they're saying there, I think, is his daughter died. He got sad, and he's like, I've got to go and shear some sheep to make myself feel a bit better. And he took his mate Hurrah with him. Hurrah!
Sick.
And it was told Tamar, the widow, it was told Tamar saying, look, your father-in-law is going up to Timnah to shear his sheep. So she took off her widow's garments, covered herself. So there's a widow's uniform, which sounds pretty fucking creepy too.
Mm.
She took off her widow's garments, covered herself with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place which was on the way to Timnah, for she saw that Sheila was grown, and she was not given to him as a wife. Yeah? So she's a bit annoyed. So Sheila's grown up, and Judah has not gone, Tamar, we need you to come and, create this heir.
Yeah, so is she trying to get to Sheila, or is she just opening herself up for any man?
So we're about to find out.
I
Yeah,
unfortunately know the answer here.
Oh, you're still looking up the interwebs.
Stories.
Oh,
God is going to kill her. This is
No.
so good. She's
No,
getting
it's
such a murder.
worse.
Bevan's cheated, Captain, and I'm gonna have to.
It took me the whole time you were
God.
talking. The whole time you were talking, I was trying to figure this out because it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But now it does.
If I was God, you'd be killed right now.
Yeah. Look, my bad. I'll stop doing that.
So she's up waiting on the road or whatever, right? When Judah saw her, he thought she was a harlot because she had covered her face. Then he turned to her by the way and said, please, let me come into you.
Wait, who said this? Sorry, I missed the name.
Judah, the dad.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so he was polite. He's
Right. He's like,
yeah.
hey, harlot.
Yeah, please, let me come into you. For he did not know that she was his daughter-in-law. So she said, what will you give me that you may come into me? And he said, I will send you a young goat from the flock.
So she's part of the family. She's a scammer from way back.
Yeah,
Yes.
where am I? From the flock. So she said, will you give me a pledge till you send it? Because obviously he doesn't have a goat with him at the time. And he said, what pledge shall I give you? So she said, your signet and cord and your staff that is in your hand. Then he gave them to her and went in her. So, and she conceived by him, okay?
Yeah.
So this is all happening on the side of the road as far as I can tell.
I assume in a shack on the side of the road. Maybe she pitched a tent, maybe?
I don't know. I'm just imagining two blokes heading up to the sheep shearing shed, just having a chat, and they see this hot chick on the side of the road, completely veiled, I guess, so they don't even know. And she's
Maybe
like,
it's...
please, I'm feeling an inkling. Please, can I fuck you? And she's like, yeah, just give me some shit. And he went, okay. And I just think they're on the side of the road or under a tree or something.
Maybe it's like the red light district or whatever. She's just a lady of the night, and
Maybe,
that's
I
the
don't know.
costume you wear is a bit of a veil or whatever. He said he thought she was a harlot, and that's what made him go up and talk to her.
Yeah. So that's happened. He's gotten to know her, and then it says, so she arose and went away and laid aside her veil and put on the garments of her widowhood. So she's back home, back to normal. And Judah sent a young goat by the hand of his friend, the Adullamite, hurrah, to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he did not find her, right? So,
Yeah, she's not just hanging on the side of the road anymore.
no, in a veil.
I like
no,
that
he has sent, he's trying to find her.
I like that he honored this. He come back looking for the harlot to give her this goat.
He's like he'll fuck a harlot, but he's gonna honor his pledge, or he wants his staff and his cord or whatever back.
But she's still got the staff and the cord, so
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
done some pretty fucking good scamming right now.
she has, and it continues. It says, then he asked the men of that place, saying, "Where?" This could be a henchman, I guess. "Where is the harlot who was openly by the roadside?" And they said, "There was no harlot in this place." So he returned to Judah and said, "I cannot find her. Also, the men of this place said there was no harlot in this place." Then Judah said, "Let her take them for herself. Let her take them for herself, lest we be shamed. For I sent this young goat, and you have not found her." I really don't know what that means. And it came to pass about 3 months after that Judah was told, saying, Tamar, your daughter-in-law, has now played the harlot. Furthermore, she is with child by harlotry. So at some point, someone's found out that she was banging someone on the side of the road, but no one knows any more than that. So Judah said, bring her out and let her be burned.
Holy fuck.
Fucking hell.
I didn't see it going that way.
Well, he doesn't know any more than she's just been a harlot.
She was told to be
Yeah.
a damn widow, and she's gone and been a harlot.
She's been a harlot. We're going to burn her.
Which is fine for him to bang a harlot. It's
She's
just not
gonna
fine
have
for her
this-
to be a harlot.
She's going to have the staff and the cord, and she's going to present them at the last possible
Oh, I
fucking
hope
moment.
so.
Like, burn me, burn your baby, and give me my goat.
Where's my goat, bitch?
When she was brought out, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, by the man to whom these belong, I am with child, Captain. So I think, yeah. And she said, please determine whose these are, the signet and cord and staff. So Judah acknowledged them and said, she has been more righteous than I, because I did not give her to Sheila, my son. So he's just regretting not hooking up the marriage. And he never knew her again. Very righteous.
Yeah.
So
He didn't explain why he didn't give his kid to her, though.
no, he just said, oh, I forgot, I suppose. I was doing some other shit.
Too busy banging chicks on the side of the road.
Now it came to pass at the time for giving birth that, behold, twins were in her womb. And so it was when she was giving birth that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took a scarlet thread and bound it on his hand, saying, this one came out first.
Because you got to have your heir.
Got to know number one, yeah.
Yeah.
Then it,
He's the new Joseph.
then it happened as he drew back his hand. So he stuck his hand out giving birth. Look, this is the baby. He's popped his little baby hand out.
Tied a thing around it.
And then he's like, yoink. And he's tucked it back in the vagina, right?
That count? Like, in the 100-meter sprint in running, the chest is the thing that matters. Is it birthing whatever comes out is the winner first?
Well,
I thought torso would be the first for that too.
well, while I was reading this specific part, I realized this is the proof. This little bit right here is the proof that this was written by men, because they have no idea how a birth happened. Like, they don't, like, a baby just doesn't poke its fucking hand out, you know? Oh, I'm sure that must have happened at some point, but that's not typically my understanding, is because I was at some births. They don't come out like just poke a hand out. Anyway, then as it happened, as he drew back his hand, that his brother came out unexpectedly, and she said, how did you break through? This breach be upon you. Therefore his name was called Perez for some reason. Afterward, his brother came out who had a scarlet thread on his hand, and his name was Zerah. So the baby scam straight away,
Yeah.
straight out of the womb. So that was the end of that.
The SL Jacobs, was it Jacobs scam? But like at birth.
Yeah, straight at birth.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't a stew. It was a fucking little scarlet. Maybe the little baby was inside, like, no, you don't. Yoink. And pulled him back in, like, fuck you. They're already battling. So that's where we are. That's the end of chapter 38. So how did that go for you, boys?
Beautiful. I was hoping that one of them was furry when it was announced they were twins.
Well, maybe it is. We don't know yet. Maybe it was Perez or Zero or whatever. Yeah. So I reckon I'm happy. I reckon we wrapped that up. That was a pretty good place to finish on.
Yeah.
And we got shit to do because it's Sunday. We got to go and do some Sunday shit.
Yeah.
So
Amongst it.
that was Brothers Grail, the big chapter 13, the number of the, I don't know, Black Friday, whatever.
What?
I don't know.
I think you confused us because it's like episode 13, but you're calling it chapter. But then at each episode, we read multiple chapters.
Oh, yeah. I have been calling things chapter instead of episode. Yeah. Anyway, that's on me. Thanks, Captain.
Cheers.
Thanks, Kebeben.
Please.
It's been pleasant. Happy Sunday, everybody. Bye.
Bye.